It's Holy Joe Rock and Roll with another big lie.
Don't tell me what I can say or do. Free speech is free for all to use. Hate speech is not something you can define. Just cause your opinion is different than mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Holy Joe Rock and Roll coming at you live and unscripted. I want to talk to you about the big lie. Annunaki. The big lie. Now, let's talk about what is the Annunaki and what is the big lie. Now, basically, there's these ancient Sumerian tablets that are at least 6,000 years old, discovered in what is Mesopotamia, known as Mesopotamia or present-day Iraq, between the Euphrates and the Tiber rivers, right? Supposedly the beginning of civilization. Abraham came from Sumeria, a city called Ur, which we do find in Mesopotamia. However, because the rivers have changed their position over time as the rivers have shifted, the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers, still we have found that they have discovered the city of Ur. Now, there's over 6,000 years ago, they found hundreds of thousands of these clay tablets, and on these tablets, as translated by various scholars and in books, especially by a man named Graham Hancock, a book known as the Hidden Hand of God, and many other books that he's written over the years, supposedly translating these clay tablets, and what it shows is, or what it claims, besides recording real estate transactions and sales transactions, it supposedly records the Annunaki, which means those from heaven to earth traveled, basically aliens, space aliens, came to the earth in ancient times, built the pyramids, potentially, built other advanced things on the earth, and also these ancient Sumerians claim that they did not invent the wheel, they did not invent the plow, they did not invent animal husbandry, that these were gifts given to them by the Annunaki, given to them by the god, or gods. Okay? Now, I guess some atheists may take this to explain that there is no God, that we were actually created, and furthermore, the reason why humans were created by the Annunaki is because they needed slave labor, basically, to work for the Annunaki. And worship means, in ancient language, work for. So people were working for these gods, and now we worship these gods, giving them our work, our energy, our spirit. That's maybe the atheist or agnostic sort of envision or vision of what happened. Now, since we can't have infinitive regression, right? Meaning you can't keep going back to try to figure out in the beginning what was there. If there was nothing, you can't make something from nothing. Okay, that's infinite regression. If you say, well, that the Earth is, the universe is expanding, so if we reverse that, we get to a single point, right? And that from this single point became everything. Well, actually, there was no single point. There was actually nothing because it infinitely regressed. This is an impossibility. You can't have something from nothing. Therefore, there had to have been a God that created, that put everything into motion, okay? Because the Bible says first there was nothing, and then God said, let there be light, and then there was light. You see, only God can do that. It takes some other supernatural power, some kind of metaphysical power to start the thing off. Now, we have other ancient writings, such as the 2012 Mayan calendar, which people said predicted the end of the world. Total nonsense. The Mayans just ran out of clay to draw the calendars. And, you know, if you buy a calendar, even a digital calendar, it's usually only good for sometimes 20 years. I remember on one of my old computers, it was an Atari ST, it had a chart of the sky, just like if you planetarium. Oh, it was a planetarium program. But this planetarium program was written in like 1984, and it was only good for 20 years. So I believe in the year 2000 is when the maps would no longer be valid. Okay, so there's a limit to what you can sometimes put into a system, and just like a calendar, you buy a calendar, it's good for 1 year. Sometimes there's an extra month for January to kind of keep you going, but typically it's written for 1 year. Now, the Mayans had done this calendar, and it ended in December of 2012. Nothing happened. Okay, so the interpretation of the end of the calendar is probably, present day so-called historians' fault for interpreting it incorrectly. So is it possible that Graham Hancock also has interpreted these clay tablets incorrectly, or simply they're fairy tales, they're lies? Now, the coup de grace about the big lie is this. Let us imagine for a moment that the Annunaki did come down from space, created humans, domesticated animals, gave these humans the plow, gave these humans some kind of writing, and they are our God, or gods. Then the question is, who created the Annunaki? Pow! This has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll, crushing the big lie of the Annunaki. Until next time, make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain.
Don't tell me what I can say or do. Free speech is free for all to use. Hate speech is not something you can define, just cause your opinion is different than mine. Time to drop some knowledge. Marxist agendas are all over campus. Leftists and trannies and Islam have melted. It's a toxic soup of radical. Don't tell me what I can say or do. Free speech is free for all to use. Hate speech is not something you can define, just cause your opinion is different than mine.